Hi, everyone. Sherry Rosenthal here. Great to see you all with us for this fabulous call today. Today's topic of our call is missing something in your relationship? We've got some answers. I've got the most amazing couple with me today, dear friends who I love so much. They're down here in Florida with me also. And they are Diana and Richard Daffner. They are fabulous. They run intimacy retreats. You've got to hear about what they have to share with you today. And before we get started talking about intimacy and relationship, I'd really love Diana and Richard to share a little bit about themselves with all of you. I know that their fans know who they are. However, my fans don't know who you guys are. So, Diana and Richard, if you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you came to even want to do intimacy retreats. We'd love to hear.
Okay. Well, I had no concept of intimacy retreats when we got involved. However, we were on holiday in Costa Rica. I had just sold a minority interest in a business that I was running in New York City. And Diana and I were just very much in love. We were about 7 or 8 years into our relationship. And we had time and money. And we were noticing that we were having such a blast and just so much in love, and that wasn't really the norm. And you know, you're in Costa Rica, this beautiful, beautiful environment. Everybody should be in love. So it was at a point in time, this was in 1990, where there was a lot of self-awareness that we were very much into. But we said to ourselves, well, there's no couples awareness. Diana had always led workshops. You know, that's all she had done in her life. Meditation and Aikido and massage. So I said, Diana, let's do workshops for couples. And we created came up with a title and some business cards and stationery called the Couples Project.
Well, yeah, that is a good part of the story. Another part of the story, though, is that in the beginning of our relationship, there was a juiciness. We didn't live together. In fact, we lived about 3 hours apart. And, when we'd come together, there was some hotness, some attraction, sexual times together, a lot of play. As our relationship developed, the sexual part of it stopped being so much fun. And I realized that there were teachings out there that we could incorporate into our lives, coming from ancient teachings as well as modern relationship learnings. And we began to apply that to our relationship, and that started making a big difference. And we wanted to share that with other couples.
Great.
And that's the end story, yes. And here we are 15 years later.
Excellent, excellent. That's amazing. But Diana, you're also a counselor. You have a degree in counseling too, right?
I do. I have a master's in counseling, and I've always been geared toward psychological talk and experiential kinds of practices. Richard is much more of a, kind of rather go for a ride on a ride on his bike than sit and talk about something. So it was really natural for us when we put that together that sexuality could become the pathway to deepening this relationship. Because it's an activity, it's an action. It's not just talking about it. There's something actually active in it for us. I mean, not that we have open sexuality at our workshops. If anyone's thinking that, no. Our workshops are amazing. The intimacy retreats are designed we have some unique practices that help couples learn to really connect with each other physically, on a sexual level, emotionally, from a heart level, and spiritually as well. That's why joining up with you is such a perfect match.
Yeah. This is so exciting to me, Diana, because I think that what you expressed is probably the norm. I mean, even I've been married twice before, and I know in my relationships, in the beginning of the relationship, it's pretty hot and heavy and great. But with time comes issues in life and other things, and we get distracted, and I don't think we put the same amount of time into really cultivating that beautiful relationship. Maybe we both come into the relationship without really great communication tools and tools for really listening to one another. And that's what I like about what you're saying, because it sounds like the people who are coming to these retreats are really getting to learn some solid tools to make that connection deeper that they have, and learn how to really hear each other and be present for each other. Am I accurate in that?
Oh, you're right on. You're right on. The workshop brings communication to the fore, and yet it's not therapy. It's not it's not struggling with it. We have this fun way of presenting practices, and what's even more fun, I'm told, by some of the couples, is that we send them back to their rooms in between the workshop sessions to personally practice what we've been teaching in an intimate sexual way, and that seems to be a highlight.
Yeah, that's really neat. I think I'd like to mention, like, a core tenet that I've always lived with. If we're going to bother to put our time and energy into this training, that our clients, or what we prefer to call our guests, because they're intimacy. I just like the word guests versus clients. So our clients, our focus is on having them take something home that will ultimately change, if not transform, the relationship. And that's really our mission statement, if you wish. We want relationships to work and to be happy. I start off, this weekend or week, however we're doing, or the Peru trip, I'll start off with a core tenet right here is to have fun as a couple.
I see.
And
okay.
Yeah, Richard brings fun.
I like fun.
I got that.
I major in fun.
I got that.
And for me, and for some of the couples, some of the people who come, their main interest might be to increase the frequency of their intimate sexual connection.
For sure.
Or it might be to increase the meaningfulness of their connection, which is
the spirituality is a phrase often mentioned by guests.
And the emotional connection. It's all part of what we do.
I got that. So I'm going to ask you this. Like, during these retreats and workshops, because I know you do both formats, so we're going to talk a little bit later about, Richard had just briefly mentioned about Peru, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But during these particular retreats or workshops, I know that you specialize in Tantra for couples. So I'm pretty aware of what Tantra is, but I'm not sure everyone else is. And I would love you to be able to explain your version of that, what it really means, how does it relate to the intimacy workshops, and with the method that you've created to help couples, to help them get that extra something, to increase their communication, to help, maybe, as you said, be able to make love more frequently and in just a more beautiful way. How does Tantra relate to that?
Okay, so Tantra it refers to ancient teachings from India, thousands of years old. It was a spiritual training. It really had nothing to do with relationships, making better relationships. It had nothing to do with having more delicious lovemaking. That really wasn't and isn't the intention of traditional Tantra. However, the fact that Tantra as a spiritual training embraces our inner energy. It invites us to pay attention to what we're experiencing. And so some of the avenues of Tantra, noticed, of course, that sexual energy is something we can strongly pay attention to. It grabs our attention, and that we can ride that sexual energy to a spiritual experience of ourselves. In those days, they would have called it nirvana, okay? And with couples, because Tantra invites us to pay attention, we can take that same training, and if each of them is beginning to pay attention inside their bodies, paying attention to themselves, to their bringing their awareness to what's really going on, and making contact with their partner at the same time, then together they enter nirvana or heaven or heavenly relationship or love. And so although it veers away from the traditional teaching, it is so impactful and meaningful for a couple. It certainly has been for us.
Yeah, and effectively the tools that we have garnered from Tantra is that sex without a physical heart connection is sort of very bland and gets stale very, very quick. So our whole workshop / retreats, the essence of the teaching is about being present in your body and to be able to move your sexual energy to your heart and your heart energy to your sex. And when that happens, when the sexual energy and heart energy blends, that's the nirvana or the transition. And it's easy. It's not, it's not months and years of therapy. It's just training yourself to get into presence.
Into presence. That's really what it's about. And yet it's also about sex too. And so when, Sherry, our
it's definitely about sex.
Our clients or our guests, as you can see, are couples, and they might be coming from different places, the individual within the couple. He might want more sex, and maybe I want more heart connection. So it works for both of them. That's what's really beautiful about our work. And that's why we've written a book about it, because I know not everybody can come to a workshop, but we want people to know how. I don't know that being married or being with a committed partner, I know it's not the only way to walk through life. But if we're going to walk through life that way, let's make it fantastic.
Oh, I agree. I'm right there with you. I want to bring someone just to be able to experience this. Now, just to be clear, any couple can come to this, right? They don't have to be married. They could be gay or straight. It doesn't matter, does it?
That is correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
I didn't think it did. I just wanted to make that clear. So
a relationship is a relationship, and our training, will work for all relationships and all people.
It's just as long as two people have the heart, they can be there. All right.
And they don't have to have the heart yet, We can help them find that. That's the whole point, that's what's going on, I think, in a lot of relationships. People, they've lost their hearts maybe, or they don't know how to simply reside and take up residence in their hearts and to bring their partner into their hearts. And that's what makes this work so well.
Yeah, I think the core element for a person to come to the relationship is they want to make the relationship better, and we'll help them find the elements that they need.
Well, exactly. If somebody doesn't want to invest in the relationship, then this really wouldn't be the place for them to be. And then they probably need some sort of therapy or something to move through that. But that's not that. People who come to these retreats, they're ready and willing to invest in the commitment they've made with each other.
Exactly.
Well, I will say, though, that sometimes, one person hears about it, is excited about it, and kind of gets what it might be about, and the other person doesn't really quite know, but they care enough about their partner that they'll show up and they'll attend, and I think that's just awesome.
Wonderful.
It's so beautiful. So not that they have to know anything in advance, but that at least one of them has an inkling that this is going to be great.
Yes, I got that. I got it. So USA Today wrote about your intimacy retreats, and ABC Nightline News actually filmed one of your weekends. And so I know we aren't going to be able to see this here, but I know I want a couple of your juicy secrets, and I know the people who are watching will love a couple of tips, if you wouldn't mind sharing, that they could take home with them today and put into practice right now to help make their relationship just a little bit juicier. Can you do that for us?
Well, one of the things that I would suggest, right, if it was right now, is first of all, is to make time. I do coaching for couples as well, and you wouldn't believe how hard it is. It's not difficult, but in a sense it seems challenging for couples to even take a couple of minutes a day. I mean, even I have one couple, and actually several couples, who their first assignment is to find 1 minute during the day to simply look into each other's eyes, be present with each other, and with nothing of the cell phones off, no distractions, just to be together, breathe together, notice each other, and just stop. Just take a pause and be with each other.
Yeah, something as simple as a goodbye kiss. We call it an open eye goodbye kiss. So the normal goodbye kiss would be a little peck like this. See you later. Okay. But here you go. Just be here for another second. Open eyes.
Oh, we don't want this we're still on the video.
So, just take another 5 seconds with your eyes open, saying that, hey, you're my lover, versus see you later, kid. And that would be okay too, but just make a connection during the day. Stand in front of each other, hands open, gazing into each other's eyes. Give yourself 10 seconds just standing in front, hands open, and say, I love you. That's it. So a lot of stuff. We specialize in 1 minute shinies. That's what we call it. In fact, our book, the title of our book is Tantric Sex for Busy Couples. How to deepen your passion in just 10 minutes a day. So quick is good. Because we can show up for quick. We don't show up for hours.
on the retreat, however, on the retreat, we have home play assignments that are more than 10 minutes, though. Yes. We give them time to really get juicy with each other. And, and what Richard's saying is so important. What we're talking about this, a daily moment even, because we don't know when it could be our last day. I don't want to be morbid or anything, but and when 9/11 happened, all those people made phone calls to someone they loved in that moment, and let's make every moment, every day count. Right now we're kind of joined at the hips for talking to you, but we don't want to be joined at the hips 24/7. I mean, that's not going to make a healthy relationship either. But sometime in that 24/7, in that 24 hour anyway, sometime, we'd like our hips to come together, and our hearts, and our...
So, Diana, what happens for couples that have kids and they feel overwhelmed, and even with you saying, okay, you need just a few minutes a day, what if they feel like they don't even have a few minutes a day and they just feel so overwhelmed? I know a lot of people feel that way today. It's crazy.
It is. And as you know in your work, I mean, even for each individual has to find that time. I mean, we can find the time. Time is not, it's elastic. I mean, 10 minutes is more time than we spend trying to get off the phone with someone we don't even want to be talking to. Right. It goes by in a flash, So yes, so the secret is, we put it on the agenda. We make an appointment to show up to be with our partners. That's another giveaway secret.
Yeah. And a lot of people say, well, shouldn't lovemaking be spontaneous? Or, our relationship should be spontaneous. And my pat response to that, think about when you were dating. Wasn't those the magic times of your relationship? Well, what is a date?
Yeah.
It's an agreement to meet. It's an appointment. So start making appointments for your lovemaking, or just 5 minutes to share your heart at a heart level. Yeah, it works.
So what I hear you saying is that part of it is learning how to reprioritize, and instead of making all of the chores top on the list, to reprioritize our relationship to be higher up on the list, and that's a conscious choice that people are actually making, where they want to put what they want to invest in. And a lot of times we have so much garbage on the list that we could actually delegate to other people and open up more time to invest in our relationship in this way, because the payoff, I imagine, is pretty good.
It's pretty significant. And I want to go back to the kids, okay? The best gift parents can give to their kids is to be in a loving, expressive relationship. That is the best gift they can give to their kids. So this work, if you don't want to do it for yourselves, do it for your kids.
It's true. And he is right at that. And actually, being connected with your partner in a real loving, sensual, sexual, emotional, spiritual moment is good, not just for you, not just for your relationship, not just for your kids, but it actually benefits everyone around you and even the whole planet.
Because you're happier. You bring happiness to the planet. Love and happiness.
Love matters. It really matters.
It does. And what you just said made me think of something. I know for myself, part of the reason why my two relationships did not work out is because I didn't have a good model. And what I'm hearing and what you're saying is that part of the benefit of showing up for each other in relationship is your kids can come away with, wow, I watched my mom and dad and they put an investment in their marriage and in their relationship, and I would like that for myself, and I know that's important. And I never had that because I grew up in a typical dysfunctional house. So that's why my marriages didn't work, because I didn't understand I didn't even have a model for a good relationship. And so learning how to really connect emotionally is something I never viewed. So to be able to see that seems to me to be very powerful, very powerful.
It really is. And what's been exciting for us to discover and share is that being emotionally connected doesn't require Richard to suddenly change his persona, his personality, and become somebody who likes to talk about his feelings. And he's not that kind of a guy. And a lot of people aren't, But being emotionally connected comes naturally when we enter into presence together. It's a spiritual behavior, really, the spiritual experience to step together into a place of love. And nothing's required for it. We all have the bodies to do it with, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It really is what intimacy is about.
I love that.
We all have the inherent energy.
So I'd love to talk a little bit about, I want to share with people that you guys have a Peru trip this year that's very special, October 26th to November 5th. And so this is an intimacy retreat in a really amazing place, because I've been to Peru many times. I love the energy of Pachamama. The people there celebrate the Mother Earth and the Father Sun, and there's a perfect equality in the relationship there. And it doesn't really matter that it's male, female, 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 male, male. It's just the whole concept of that beautiful equality of the part that both partners play. And it's such a nurturing environment. And so for me, I'm very excited that Diana and Richard have this retreat in Peru. And so my question to you is, how do you envision actually your intimacy retreat melding with these ancient Peruvian teachings and being in Peru? What is your feeling about that you went and actually picked Peru to have an intimacy retreat? Because a lot of times you will do them in the U.S. So this is a really special place to have a couples retreat.
Yeah, and I think you've already mentioned it, that's the strength of understanding the balance between two, the joining of in their case the male and the female, and in our case the male and the female, and so we draw a lot on the Tantra teachings, which invite the female sexual energy, the earthy female sexual energy to be released and to be opened so that the male energy can blend with it. In fact, some of our practices are very equal. Some of our practices are very much showing the equality, but we also spend a lot of time rebalancing, where one person is the receiver. We do work with the yin and the yang aspects of life. We don't only draw from India. Our workshops really pull in from different cultures, and so we do exercises where one person really can experience being the receiver, while the other's really being the giver. So often in a relationship, we're either really busy giving to each other and nobody's receiving, or we're giving to everybody but each other, or we're not receiving to ourselves, So all of this is explored. And the Peruvian spirituality being so both deep in the earth and open to the universe and the cosmos seems like a fabulous connection with what we're teaching.
Yeah.
Wow.
When I saw the pictures of Peru, I spent 3.5 years in Asia, a lot on the Indian continent, and my experiences in the Himalayas, both in India and Nepal, and were just amazing. And when I saw the pictures of Peru, I just said, "Wow!" Because the high altitude indigenous people, they have so much to share. So just the very presence of being there, and then to have the advantage of studying our work, or I shouldn't say studying, experiencing our work, it blew me away. And then when I saw where we're going to be staying for 4 straight days, which would be the primary part of the intimacy retreat, I totally flipped out. They're so natural, so beautiful. Couldn't find a more extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary teaching experience for our work. It's just reads love all over the place. It's great. Lots of flowers.
Exactly.
I love the flowers.
Those days that Richard's referring to is staying at Wilkatika, and it's in the Sacred Valley. And Wilkatika is in such a beautiful area of the Sacred Valley. It's just like being in a womb of beautiful energy, and to be able to channel that energy into the relationship and use that powerful energy together as a couple is, I think, very special. The other thing is that Wilkatika will do as much organic as they can. They have their own gardens, and they have to not only grow vegetables, but also, as you said, the beautiful flowers. The woman who owns it, Carol Coombs, she's originally from South Africa, and she wanted to create this beautiful, almost like it's like a sacred temple. And what better place for a couple to bring themselves but the sacred temple in the beautiful Sacred Valley to celebrate each other, right? And to
Absolutely.
Experience that. And yes, there's nothing like seeing the beautiful sacred sites in Peru, and of course your journey is going to include those, including Machu Picchu, on and on. But I think for me, the idea of being in that sacred space and being in sacred relationship, and even for the first time for some people, maybe even defining that relationship is sacred and something really worth honoring, I feel really is being expressed very clearly in Peru. And so I am very excited that you're going to go there and stay at one of my favorite places. And it's definitely the perfect place to deepen a relationship, to be able to take time out, as you were saying, Diana, to invest that time in the relationship, to have private time together, to take all of the things that you're teaching and to run back to the room and have that time to play and enjoy and feel embraced by the energy of the Sacred Valley. And it's, for me, that idea of Tantra is that the sexual energy is the actual blooming forth of all creation. Everything comes from that sexual energy. It's around us. It's within us. It's everything. And you see that so powerfully there. Like, just a simple example is the corn in the Sacred Valley looks like mutant corn. I've never seen anything like it. It's like the kernels are like an inch big. There's something about that sacred, tantric energy, you can say, that is in that valley, permeates everything, including the corn. I mean, you eat this food and it blows you away. And so that creative energy, that tantric energy, that sexual energy, however we want to word it, it really is very present. And you really see where your roots are. It becomes very clear, where we come from and how we create. And you can just look all around you and it's mirrored everywhere, the works of creation and how that creation shows up within our relationship. I think it's really powerful and beautiful and nourishing. And I think that the couples who come on these trips will feel very nourished, not only by the environment, but from the two of you, because it's obvious that you guys are so passionate about what you're doing. It comes through in everything you're saying and how you want to help couples really make their relationships blossom and be the most amazing thing that they can be. So that just gets me so excited.
Well, we're equally excited. I know I am, and I know
for sure.
Richard certainly is. And the intimacy retreat. Retreat is to get away and to be away from all the busyness of life. And the intimacy, into me see, when the couple begins to share, really seeing into each other, magic happens.
Exactly. So I wanted to share with everybody something that we had been talking about before the interview. And I wanted to let people know that the first 5 couples, because it's an intimacy retreat, I have to think in terms of couples, the first 5 couples that sign up because of this call today and this beautiful video class we're having will get a half an hour really focused coaching session to get them really tuned in and ready for the retreat, and give them some things to do actually before the retreat in October. So this is a really wonderful gift from Diana and Richard. So anyone who's vaguely thinking of this, you guys, you've got to sign up right away so you're one of the first 5 couples. So everybody knows underneath this video, we're going to have the actual link to Diana and Richard's beautiful Peru trip. So you guys can sign up there. You certainly can email me at journeysofthespirit.com. Diana, I think you should let everybody know also what your website is, so that, and your email if someone has questions. We'll also put it below the video, but in case someone has a question regarding whether they are right to be able to come on this retreat and any other questions they might have.
Absolutely. The website is simply Intimacy Retreats, that's plural, intimacyretreats.com.
Right.
And when you go to the website, you can email us, you can call us. We live in Florida, so try to call during the office hours. But that's the best way to reach us, intimacyretreats.com, and you'll find information there about the Peru trip as well as others and our book, and we have a home CD program, an audio program you can listen to at home, and lots of information.
And by the way, the first 5 couples that sign up will also get our book, Tantric Sex for Busy Couples.
Yay! Yeah. That would be cool because they can read it before the trip and really start working on their relationship. That would be really fun. So, gosh, Diana and Richard, I really appreciate you being here with me and sharing some of your tips about relationship. And also, I'm so excited that you're having this retreat to Peru. It just sounds amazing. I'm not in a relationship right this second, but I have to get in one just to be able to come on this trip and drag a partner along because.
Well, you might. You know, we get people who come to the workshops who have been married for a long time and they're looking to spruce it up and spice it up. But we also get people at the beginning of a relationship because they want to start off right.
Exactly.
So you could show up.
You have a window of possibility.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you guys coming on today's call and listening to us. And anyone who has any questions, you all know you can email me and ask, or email Diana and Richard. No problem at all. Any questions you have from today's video, we'd love to answer. So I hope all of you guys come to Peru and join Diana and Richard. If you can't make it to Peru, they always have weekend workshops, so you can always do that too. But nothing like Peru. Nothing like Peru. You've got to join them there.
Nothing like Peru.
We're excited. Thank you,
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it was a pleasure. Thank you again, everyone.